know if you guys can tell by looking at me or just my general demeanor, but I am not an alpha male. I'm not an alpha. I'm not even a beta. I'm like 3 before omega. Like, I've been called a little punk to my face before. I've been like, well, that's your opinion. In fact, I know I'm lucky to be a millennial, because if I had been born even 10 years earlier, I wouldn't have lived this long. I know that because I was in Louisiana for 10 minutes before I let a possum climb me. All right? It was just coming right at me. And by the time I realized it wasn't like a little squirrel that wanted to play or something, it was hanging off my belt. I don't know if you looked a possum in the face in person before, but its face is an actual demon. It's the most horrifying thing you can have hanging off your crotch, and I'm trying to hump it off as hard as I can. Just bend my knees and because I want to touch it. Everybody knows you touch a possum, get bit by a possum, you become a possum. That's just science. So now I'm trying to hump it off, but it climbs onto my shoulder and chirps in my ear, and not the cute Pocahontas like, meow, meow, meow. He was like, oh, immediately. And I was like, okay, I guess that's how I died. I didn't know I died so young. I had no idea. And then my friend slapped off my shoulder and saved my life. Have you ever had your life saved when the stakes were incredibly low? It's terrible. I'll tell you guys this because we're family. I don't know if I believe in evolution anymore. What I mean by that is I believe in evolution up until this point, but I think we're done. You know, because you evolve from necessity, and we've like run out of necessity. Like even if Apple never comes out another update, we're like fine. I don't know how to grow food, and that's been fine the whole time. In fact, everywhere I go, the food was nice enough to kill itself before I got there, be seasoned, and not have a face. So if we're going to evolve from this point on, like and I mean as a species, not just our stuff. This is cool stuff. It's the best stuff in the history of stuff. But if we're going to evolve as humans, then it's really up to women to keep humanity honest, because we're the only species where the females mate with the weak. We're the only one. If a deer's limping into the woods, all the does aren't like, but I love him. They let that die. They let it die every time. There's no 4-leg broken baby like, you guys want to play? Because usually I do it alone. That's only humans. Humans are the only ones that are like, oh my God, he's going to art school. He's trying. No. Let him go. That's how you get me. Do you want more me? Do you want more guys? We got to go see Green Lantern. I heard good things. Like, no one needs that. And I'm not trashing any man in here. I had to return a jar of pickles to Trader Joe's. I couldn't open it. So I know. I know I'm not high on the list to make new people. It's just what has to happen. You know? I'll tell you guys this too. Sometimes I get on Facebook because I don't care about being happy. Does it bother anybody else that there's no bottom? There's no bottom. You can scroll until you die. There's no bottom. And you're never done. You never finish Facebook. You're just like, you either get so mad that you get off or you realize you're late. Those are the only 2 ways to get off. But I've noticed this disturbing trend. It's really upsetting me, where people online, on Facebook, are being called racist now, but for like actually nothing. Like I'll read the whole thread because I'm petty. So I'll read the post and then get to the bottom and be like, I don't think that's a thing. Oh no. You know, and I've noticed there's a lot of like white people calling other white people racist. And I'll just tell you, as a black dude that grew up in the South, I don't think you're racist until you go to your second Klan meeting, all right? Hear me out. Because maybe the first one, maybe your friend Dale should invite you to a barbecue. Everybody loves barbecue, all right? You get there, there's delicious barbecue. There's dry rib, there's sloppy, it's all happening. You see somebody put on a white hood, you're like, I know it's a costume barbecue, that's a little odd, but you keep eating, okay? And there's corn on the cob, there's yams, mashed potatoes, it's all happening. And then there's a burning cross in front of you, and you're like, I'm already here. I say this because I have my friend Jordan. He accidentally went to a Klan rally. And he didn't know what to do. He was like, I ate all the food, I can't miss the meeting. Turns out Klan rallies don't just start, they ease you in with a barbecue. And then he left and he went home. He called me. I came over to his house. We talked about it. Turns out a Klan rally is exactly what you think a Klan rally is like. There were no spoilers there. But just past his head in the kitchen, I could see a to-go plate. And I was like, Jordan, are those Klan ribs? And he was like, yeah, and I was like, can I have some? And it hurts me as a black dude that grew up in the South to say that the Klan makes the best ribs. I don't know what they're doing. I don't know what kind of rub that is. Who would have known you can't taste racism? It's delicious. It was to the point where I was like, I think you need to join. I need these every Sunday. These are amazing. Guys, I'm Josh Johnson. Thanks so much. You have a great night. Appreciate it.
I have to have those ribs. Very nice.
Thank you so
Sorry,
much.
I messed up your name up front.
Oh, no.
I've been drinking. I apologize.
Yeah. I was upset.
That's Josh Johnson. Everybody.
San Antonio, Texas, please make it loud for Josh Johnson!
If I'm truly being honest with y'all, one thing I've not been able to stop thinking about is the tariffs. It's like is all I can think about, because all I read about, because it seemed like everybody is like, oh, this is bad. I know people who do not watch the news at all that are like, why is everything red? Did everybody change logos or something? Every time I turn on TV, everything red. What is that? My TV bleeding, something going on. No, in case you have not been aware, in case you're trying to protect yourself and go about your day, there's been a bit of a trade war going on. The wildest thing about a trade war is that you are allowed to, like, okay. I was trying to put this in perspective. Okay, you know how when you were like on the playground and, you know, somebody would be like, my dad can beat up your dad. And you were like, oh, you think your dad can beat up my dad? It's like, yeah, I think my dad can beat up your dad. And then, you know, kid one over here is like, yeah, well, my dad goes to CrossFit. And, you know, kid two is like, yeah, well, my dad has been to jail. Sort of the CrossFit of life. So I bet you my dad can beat up your dad. And then, you know, other kid, CrossFit kid, dad is like, you know, my dad, he has swords. He has swords, so you can try to beat him up, but he'll chop your dad up. And then kid two is like, well, my dad has guns. That's actually why he had to go to the CrossFit of life. It's because he has lots of those. A couple swords too, but he prefers to bring the guns when he has issues. And then, you know, CrossFit, sword, dad, kid. It's like, yeah, well, my dad is 6'5", so he could definitely beat up your dad. And then, you know, gun, jail. Kid is like, oh, my dad is 5'2", so he has quite a chip on his shoulder. So
Your dad will be dying, all right? And that's kind of what a trade war is like. You know what I mean? It's like nothing has to happen at the moment, but it is a lot of being behind the desk like, I bet you my economy can beat up your economy. And yeah, we know that Trump loves tariffs because even in his first term, he had a lot of tariffs on China for steel and everything. And he campaigned on tariffs and what he thought tariffs would do, at least what he says that they'll do for the U.S. economy in the long run. And so we know that he is serious about the tariffs. I think there were definitely some people that thought that he wasn't serious about the tariffs, and that was a mistake because he was very serious about the tariffs. He was so serious about the tariffs that apparently, now look, I'm gonna do my best here. I am both paraphrasing for the sake of brevity and going off of things that I've read and things that I've been told, and I am not an economist. So I'll do my best job, but I'm telling you, I'm gonna be wrong, okay? But I'm gonna be as close to right as possible on purpose. But apparently this man loves tariffs so much that right when he took office, there were economists, conservative Trump voting Republican economists who, while leaning right, still understand the economy. They still, that's not a dig. I'm saying that the two things can exist together. I'm saying that they understand the economy and they vote the way they vote, but they know the numbers, is what I'm saying. Because I'm not an economist. They understand the economists, kind of. So they immediately went to work coming up with tariff plans so that way, whenever Trump wanted to enact his tariffs, they would have the numbers ready, right? And so they did all the math and they did all the going back and forth and did all the figuring out that could be figured, you know? And then they went to Trump and he wasn't happy with the plan, apparently, because in order to enact the tariffs the way that he wants, the numbers, a lot of them at least, were quite small. So then Trump, paraphrasing, but he was like, what is this 1.7? What is this 2.8, these 2.3, this 0.8? No, we need big numbers. We need to impress the people. You gonna send me out there and embarrass me in front of America? I need big numbers. Get me some big numbers, which apparently is why when he walked out with that poster board, you know that... You saw the board. You know that board that... You saw that poster board. It looked like homework, right? Like that poster board. Yeah, that poster board out, and he was going down the line, right? He was going down and just naming places like 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, little bit of jelly donut, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, a little bit of chicken grease. That was not 100, that was a 10, 10, 10, 10, 94. You know, because he hit the world with 10% tariffs. If you were anywhere on earth, you could get this 10. Please don't think you can't get this 10 just because you uninhabited. Anybody can get it. Anybody can get it. Please believe me when I tell you. Anybody can get it. All right? You think you cute because you just got some little aminals on your little island? You still getting it. All right? We don't care. This is America. We do what we do when we feel like it. 10, 10, 10, 34, 10, 10, 10, 10, 78, 10, 10, 10. And it was perplexing. The economists didn't understand it. Top Republicans didn't understand it. Even the people that were in support of Trump and his tariffs couldn't tell you that they really understood it. No one really understood it because there wasn't too much to understand. Everybody who does numbers was like, ooh, this is not numbers. This is not the numbers that I thought it was when I thought They were on like CNBC, basically any money channel, any money news channel, when these tariffs went out, they were on there cursing live. They were like, fine us, we don't care. We're all gonna die. You think I care about $10,000? I'll throw you another couple. The dude who does the bleeps must have had money in the market because he was gone. They were up there cursing live. I couldn't believe it. Normally, you'd even see the blurry mouth. I saw them enunciate the swear words. I was like, okay. This might be bad then. If the people who do money all day are upset and they looking at the red and everything look upside down on the graphs, I'm pretty sure it's supposed to go up like this. Yeah, I mean, you getting a little low, Dow. That Dow Jones was not playing. That Dow Jones was like, hey, I'm dead, y'all. No. Yeah, that S&P 500 was down to 5. It was bad. It's like these were rough moments we were in, and nobody really understood why. We lost $3 trillion of value in the market in a day. People were showing me pictures of the stock market and the S&P and the Dow, and then their portfolio, and I was like, man, we got to pick a different color, because that much red ain't good for your eyes. But yeah, apparently, there were economists that tried to figure out something that would do what Trump said they wanted to do, but he was like, no, I need to go out to the people and really make a statement, and I need to make a statement for the other nations so they take this thing seriously. So, 10, give me some 34s, give me some 55s, I'll take anything, just bring it all to me. And they were like, sir, that isn't math. That may not work, but Trump was so dead set on going to other countries like, you get a tariff, you get a tariff, you get a tariff, like an opposite Oprah, like a reverse Oprah. You get a tariff, you cry and take that tariff, right? And now this part, I hope, is not true. I'm repeating it because I've read it like in 5 different places. It's been told to me 3 different times, but apparently he sort of sent away the plan that the actual economist wrote up, and then he asked someone else to draw up a plan that would do the tariffs truly bigly, right? Like we really making a statement. And in doing that, they did, apparently, I don't want this to be true because it means we're all doomed, but apparently they did ask ChatGPT what to do with which I don't know. I feel like even when they typed that in to ChatGPT, Chat was like, you sure, dog? Which is a fitting bit of irony, though. It is kind of funny to me that like ChatGPT wrote up a formula that was then applied that then tanked the stock of the company that owns ChatGPT. Like it's a beautiful little closed loop. But ChatGPT went ahead and did its thing. They asked him, hey, how can we tariff the whole world and not have everybody die? And ChatGPT was like, I don't know about the die part, but I will get you a little formula real quick. And it went and then it dropped this formula, and that's the same formula that they've been showing. Now this formula, it does have all the components of like a math equation. It's got the parentheses in there, it's got some X and some Y, has a little cursive, it has that little squiggly thing for when you divide it, I think. It has everything that you've ever like looked at a meme about confusion that was coming at you, it's in there. It's all that stuff. All that beautiful mind drawing stuff is what's in the thing. It's got some tops, it's got some bottoms. It's got some other like little symbols rubbing together and everything. But apparently, when plugging in any type of numbers into this equation, they still got the math wrong. So no matter if this thing came from ChatGPT or if it came from some mathematic genius, when applied, it was still applied wrong because the tariffs more went towards the tariff amounts more went to trying to reciprocate the amount of money with countries that we had a deficit with than the actual like reciprocal tariff, if that makes sense. Like we applied that thing as if, oh, they're just tariffing us this much, so we're going to tariff them the same amount. But rather than actually doing that, we were like, here is some math just to make everybody confused real quick, and then we'll actually go ahead and slap a tariff on them for their deficit or for their surplus, which also does not make any sense, because then we're both punishing people who buy a lot from us and punishing the people we sell to off the things that we sold them to make things for us, right? So it's basically like being in a bad marriage where like it's like being in a bad marriage where it's like, well, I don't know why you hate me. You married me. Like, I don't I'm just over here being your husband. I don't really get why you so mad at me right now. Ooh, you hate me, but you married me. Anyway. And so that is partially where we landed, which is distressing. You know, that first day, these tariffs get applied, the markets react and everything, and $3 trillion of value is just gone, sort of wiped out in the moment. And then the next day it was worse, because the next day they were like, oh, we still doing it because we can get redder. We can get, oh, we haven't even broke out all the red in the crayon box yet. We can keep getting red. And then there was like another $6 trillion loss, like over time. But like we were at $6 trillion, I think, by like that Friday at 4 p.m. or something. And then we lost money over the weekend, which I didn't even think was possible. I thought the whole point of the market closing was to close. Don't keep counting. That doesn't feel fair to me, to keep counting even though we closed and now I owe more than I owed before. That's not fair at all. But then when Japan opened up and Japan was plunging about 8% on their market, and then our futures were also our futures, you know, the future, you know, the thing you're supposed to look forward to, that was also looking bleak for us. And then our market opened and the market was like, no, we still dying, dog. I'm not pretending. I'm not gonna pretend to know math. You know what I mean? I've met math. I've been affected by math, for sure. Math rules everything around me, yes. But when I tell you that the reason I don't want to hold like public office, I don't want to do any of that stuff, is because I don't want my math to affect anybody else, because I'm bad at it. I'm bad at math. The only time that my math affects other people's lives is when it's my turn to pay at dinner. And that is a bummer for everyone. That is, you can feel it. Okay. When it's my turn to pay for the check and I'm trying to, in my head, out loud, figure out the tip to then add I gotta divide to do the tip, and then I gotta add the number I just divided and then put that together and put that on the total on the merchant copy, all right? We're all up to speed. We've all been to a restaurant. But watching me do that it instantly feels like when the teacher would make you read in class, but you knew a big word was coming up. You had been trying to sound out this word while the teacher was talking about some other stuff, because you had already counted the paragraphs. The teacher making everybody go one paragraph for paragraph for paragraph, and you like, okay, I'm sitting here, which means I'm 8 paragraphs away. That's my word. Oh no! And so then you trying to sound out the word in your head, but you can't sound out in your head. So you're like, maybe I'm not even sounding out right now because my head is quiet. And then they get to you and it's your turn to read, and you're like reading all good, killing it. You even sounding out the commas. You know what I mean? You see that comma and you go, pause. And then you finally hit that big word and you like, all right. Hey, you old enough now, you don't want to sound like you sounded out because everybody will think you can't read even though you read half the paragraph with no problem. You did mic drops on those periods. Anytime there was a period in a sentence, you were like, this good textbook right here. Yeah, what do y'all know about this English lesson, this Chaucer, okay? And then you finally get to the word and you're like, that's a cough, that was a cough. That wasn't even me reading just now. That's, and the teacher goes, scrumptious. I was getting to it. Oh. I was getting to it. I was just trying to enjoy the word. I was trying to chew on the word. You the one getting all impatient and stuff. You trying to teach us patience. You're not even patient. That's me. Like, at least the closest I come to ruining everybody's life with math is when it's my turn to pay at dinner and I'm trying to factor out loud the tip and I'm hearing me try to do math in my head, hearing a grown man say carry the is not gonna inspire confidence in my abilities, right? If I'm sitting there with the, okay, and then you got the two right there, all right? Anytime I gotta do math without a calculator or a pencil, it's a whole conversation. I'm literally sitting there like, all right, so, you know, I'm gonna do 25% because she was killing it, all right? So 25%, that's even better because it's also a quarter. Now I just gotta break this down into 4 parts and then put that line there, right? So now all I gotta do is get you to be still, be still, be still, be still. Stop it. I'm telling a 6 to stop it out loud at the table. Stop moving, all right? So now we gonna carry the 3, and if that 6 will be still, I think we at 9. No, that's up. That's not even division. That's more. Okay, all right. So I'm gonna put a 4 here, and that 4 gonna slide up and trip that 5. Gonna kick the legs up under that 5. And then that's a 1. Why couldn't this be an even number? Why couldn't somebody just order the guacamole like I said? That would have got us closer. Okay, so 7 and 3, that's 10 anyway. So that's 10. So now we know we're gonna have a 2 in there. I know y'all want to go. All right? Get in the car then. Get in the car. I'll follow. Yeah. And then I get embarrassed. And so I just write the total twice. And then I'm like, at least if I tip 100%, nobody could be mad at me. But then I'm sitting there like, can I really afford this? Because then I got to get in the car and do the math in my head of my account. I'm like, all right, so we eating on Sunday, all right? Tomorrow is a business day. It's not going to go through till tomorrow. So if I add a 20 to the account, Ooh, I'm overdrafting hard. Oh, I don't know what the number is, but I know that fee gonna hit. We're in a bad way. One of the biggest problems that I think is facing Americans and the country is that we don't have a sort of cohesive identity of care for each other. So, for instance, something could happen to a large swath of Americans, and there'd be other Americans that are like, all right, good, I don't care, whatever. And I'm not saying any country is perfect. And I know that some of the countries I'm mentioning have at least a little bit of a homogeny to them and everything. But whether you're Portuguese, you're Spanish, you're Italian, you're Brazilian, you're Mexican, when something happens and it happens to your countrymen, you see it as happening to your countrymen because they're all in a country together. They're all like in this thing together. I'm not saying there's not poor and rich and they don't have some of the same problems that we have. I'm not saying that factions haven't split people more than ever before, especially with the internet. I'm just saying that like they can look at a person they don't know and be like, that is my countryman, right? And we haven't had something like that for a long time. There are whole parts of the country that if you put them in a room together, we assume they would fight. We assume that it would come to blows almost immediately, just off of like, hey, do you want to pass the salt? Like, just like not even a political thing, just, it would just happen eventually, you know? And I thought that the connective tissue that we had as a country, what put us together cohesively, was at least like capital. I thought it was at least money. I thought that money would be at least the one thing that made us go, all right, we should all stop and figure this thing out right now. If it's not money, I don't know what it is. Like visiting another country and seeing it doesn't have to be this way is crazy. I'm surprised that's what we're not allowed to do. I'm surprised we're allowed to still travel. Because if you go anywhere else on like planet Earth, and I'm not talking about every place, I'm just saying, there are places that you look around and you'll be like, y'all don't just punch people in the face for being broke? Y'all don't just... Wow, all right, crazy. Going to another country that's like functioning and seeing how they operate is like going to a functional family's house for dinner. Like, it's just... You're just sitting there astonished. You're like, everybody here? Everybody sitting at the table together? All right. Got mom, got dad, got kids, and invited me over as a guest, and y'all just all smiling. As the dad, you're just sitting there. You're sitting there asking your kids about their day? Their day at school. What are you doing, dude? What are you doing? You should be abandoning all of them right now. You should be abandoning all of them. You should be going to Vegas and putting it all on black, and then you win. You actually win. You doubled your net worth in a day, and then you put it all on red because you had a feeling, and then you lost it all, and then you're sitting in this casino's cafeteria where there's very nice food, but somehow it's still like a disgusting cafeteria, and you've got these crab legs and these lobster tails in front of you, but you're wondering what you're going to do after tonight because there's nowhere to go because you left home. That's what you should be doing. Not asking your kids, how was school? Like, and then the mom sitting here. Mom sitting here, help dad cook the meal. They cooked it together as a family unit. You know, they didn't just fall into general norms. You know, they figured out that he bakes good and she makes great chicken, so she made the chicken, he baked some bread and everything, and it's all on the table together. They're watching their children eat it for the nourishment of their bodies. Food that they bought through the work that they do. They both work jobs. You have to be a 2-income household now. It can't just be one person working, and so they worked really hard, and they bought that food, and they cooked that food to the best of their ability, and now it's going to feed their children and give them good nourishment for their bodies, and they don't resent those kids at all, and that's crazy. Like, why aren't you looking at these kids like they ruined everything? Why aren't you telling them what you did before they were born? Like, as a dad, you should be telling them, I used to dunk. All right? I used to have a sick vertical, and then, you know, You came along and I was trying to put your car seat in the car and close the door too fast and slam my knee. I'll never jump again. But enjoy your baked goods. Like, that's the type of dad that you should be. Just over here smiling at them, watching them enjoy your bread. Oh, Dad, it's so good. And as the mom, you're over here working a job, cooking as well, and not resenting anyone here. You did a great job cooking. Rosemary chicken, it's delicious. Succulent, not dry at all. How'd you manage that? How'd you manage not to dry it out? The rosemary's perfectly on there, and you shouldn't be here. You should be cheating. You should be cheating to give your kids something to fight against, okay? You want to make your kid a star athlete, you go out there right now and you cheat. You break up this family so that the only solace they can find is baseball, and then they just hit dinger after dinger every game because they're hitting their trauma. And then one day a scout from a good college, a college they couldn't possibly afford because it's not a 2-income household anymore. One of those colleges comes to scout this kid, and they're like, man, that kid's got talent. And we have to get him on this school's team, full ride. He goes from that full ride to AAA minor into the majors. And then one day, they're interviewing him at the end of a game where he's hit the dinger that won them the World Series. And he's like, hey, I don't know where, I'm sorry, I'm getting so emotional. I don't know where, my mom and dad are, but just know that I love you and I hope you're watching. And I did this for you, okay? I did this for you. I love you so much. You should be doing that instead of just helping them with their homework. And the kids are like sitting there, well behaved, which is crazy. It's crazy. They're not hitting each other at all. They're not trying to put a fork in the other's temple at all. They're just sitting there enjoying like mom and dad's cooking and everything, laughing at each other's jokes. Hey, I have a joke. Everyone cares. Like, it's insane. You're sitting at a table as a family in America. This should not be happening, all right? You know, as the son, you should be sitting there yelling at your dad, give me back my skateboard or I'll kill you. Like, that's more our speed, you know? And that's what it feels like to just go to another country and watch them go to the hospital when they need to go to the hospital. Like, that's, just watch social safety nets happen and have just like a general care for citizens and stuff. That's what that feels like when it happens. One of the things that makes it so bad is that we have this attitude because of the strength of the dollar and because it is the base of like the world's currency. Everyone compares their currency to the dollar, the strength of their currency, the strength of the dollar, and people would like to be paid in dollars, at least for now. And there's an attitude that we have as Americans that it has to be that way. That we don't know any other way, so it must stay that way. So it really doesn't matter what we do, but it does. It does. All of that belief, all of that standard, with us as a standard, is confidence. And if your partners lose confidence in you, it's not going to be good for you. If your confidence is waning because of moves that have been made and unpredictability, then people will try to figure something else out. That's a little terrifying. You know, I'm not an economist. I don't know how all of it works. I just know that you can only really bully the whole world for so long. Do you know what I mean? There was a flight a couple years ago where on this flight, this dude on the flight stands up mid-flight and is talking wild and reckless. This dude stands up and he's like, I'm gonna kill everybody in here, okay? I'm all right? You're all gonna die. Do you understand me? Every single one of you is gonna bleed and die. And he's making all these weird movements, and he is freaking people out, and people are stuck in their seats. They're like paused in their seats. There's only one person who's like taking a little bit of cell phone footage of this dude because nobody knows what this dude is gonna do, and he's getting up so confident, and he's so scared because I guess he's like a bigger dude as well, and he's like, no, y'all are all gonna die. He's clearly having like some sort of mental episode, but at the same time, nobody can know how serious he is or like what his problem is or anything, and people are frozen in their seats, right? And he's like, I'm gonna kill every single one of you. You're all gonna die. I'm gonna crash this plane. And then he tries to get into the cockpit as well. He can't get into the cockpit because that's locked. And finally, this dude goes into, I think it's his back pocket, right? And everybody's expecting a knife, a gun, and this dude has a spoon. And when everyone realized that all he had was a spoon, talking this reckless, they whooped his ass. There was plenty of cell phone footage of that. They were whooping this dude. I know they don't do it on flights anymore because people have allergies, but back in the day, they used to have peanuts on flights. And every once in a while, somebody would open the peanut packet too hard, and the peanuts would go everywhere. They go over the tray table, but then they go in the aisle, and they bounce all down the aisle because the plane was still getting some altitude and everything. And he kind of looked like that peanut. They were passing him around, beating his ass. They were really tossing him back and forth. And then he still had the spoon. Was like, wait. Man, that cracked me up. Wait! They made that man sound like tennis in there. That man, he was using the spoon a little bit. He was like, man. And people were like, all right, fingers and eyes. There were other people who never got the chance to beat his ass that just watched it with their phones, and you could see them just with the eyes going, ooh. And then they restrained him, and then they landed. Cops got on the plane like, damn. I thought we were whooping ass. Man, this man tied down to his seat with seatbelts and duct tape and still got the spoon. And then, in the midst of all this turmoil, all this red, Trump tweeted, or, great time to buy. That's the most unserious thing I've ever heard in my life. Honestly, look. Admit it for a second to yourself. You don't have to say it out loud, but just know in your heart, if this was any other country, you would be laughing your ass off at that. That is very, very, very funny. That is so inappropriate and so funny at the same time. It's basically like somebody driving the car towards your car accident going, wee! And then, because we don't have a serious system, because we're not doing things the way that maybe anybody should do them. Somebody from Trump's administration, I'm pretty sure his cabinet, and I don't want to say the wrong name, but just know that they're in his circle. They went on, maybe it was CNBC, it was one of the major news networks, and they were asked by by the anchor, do you think there's any possibility that all these tariffs, all this stuff going out is really just to raise the alarm bells, and that there's a possibility of a sort of 90-day situation, just like with Canada and Mexico? And then that guy said, yeah, the president's going to decide what he wants to decide. You know, he's going to do what he wants to do. But then, off of that, you heard me when I said, yeah, the president's going to decide what he's going to do, Yeah, just off that noise, that noise right there. Yeah. Someone clipped that and tweeted the yeah. And then they said that there was about to be a 90-day pause. And then the market went up $3 trillion because we are not really here, I guess. Like, that's one of the craziest things I've ever heard. I knew money wasn't real before, but I didn't know. That's a noise. He didn't even give it a full yeah. $3 trillion from right? And then it went back down again because the White House came out and was like, we never said that. And so it dropped all the way back. And then like 2 days later, Trump reversed the 2 days later, he was like, yeah. He reversed the tariffs, and then the market shot up like $3 trillion again. I'm starting to think the market only understands $3 trillion. And I'm not saying I knew it would happen. If I did, I would have made a lot of money, like some of those people that are potentially going to be investigated because they had calls on the market for 2,000%, and then they very rich. Trump even pointed one out. He was like, that guy made $9 billion whatever he said. And yeah, I'm just saying, I didn't expect it. I did not expect there to be a ton of follow through in that. I'm just saying that when he said, I'm not saying I believe everything he says. I'm saying I thought he believed what he said when he said it. I thought, look, I'm not saying I believe when he says the thing. I don't know if I believe it. But when anyone says what they say, you would think that they would know if they believe it or don't believe it because they said it, because they're alone in there with their head to say it or not say it, and then to know if they're lying or not lying. But then I was not in his head, so I'm like, I don't know, right? But I thought he would know whether or not he meant what he said anytime he speaks, just for himself, not for us. I understand. The man can lie, but this in your head just for you is where I don't think you should be able to fool yourself. I don't think you should be able to trick yourself that way. If you said it, you alone in your head in your room of one should know what you mean when you say it. And I know that doesn't make sense, but it makes as much sense as the tariffs because it is in his head by himself. So, all right. Yeah. That was the thing. That was the thing. And then he, reversed the tariffs on a bunch of countries, except he increased the tariffs on China because they had increased the tariffs on us in the wake of that thing happening. So then it was really just my dad can beat up your dad. I didn't forget you from before, so just know that my dad can beat up your dad. And then China was like, you don't look. China made a statement early into the little tariff trade war where they were like, if the U.S. wants a trade war or any other type of war, we're ready and we'll fight to the end. And that's a lot. That's a lot. I thought we were talking about numbers, and that's another place to take it. And then Trump raised it to like almost 150% on, and this is my thing. I'm not an economist. I don't even know math. But can we at least keep the percents in the 100, please? You know what I mean? Because we're getting into some dangerous territory. The only other place that percents have gone over 100 and has been bad for people in this way is Maury. Maury had people on that were 1,000% sure, and they couldn't have been more wrong. They could not have been more fundamentally incorrect. One of my favorite, in case you're not familiar with Maury, in case you have not been blessed with the afternoon programming, the after school watching that was Maury, there were episodes of Maury. Maybe my favorite episode of all time was white woman, white man, black baby, paternity episode. That was art. So, white woman over here, and she's like, that's his baby, Maury! That's his baby! Why won't he take care of his responsibilities more? Okay, so we dated for a while, we would hook up from time to time, and then we broke up. So I was out, you know what I mean? I saw some people, but that's his baby! Look at it! The baby got a head, he got a head. That's his baby! All right? And then I never thought that I would have to say it this way, but then this poor white man had to, in real time, navigate, making sure everyone understood he was not the father while not saying anything horrifically offensive. And to his credit, he really kept a cool head and did his best. He was like, okay, look. We all God's children, all right? Okay, and I mean this with no disrespect to the African American gentleman baby or the community at large, but he and I are not kin. And then Maury, who is normally the voice of reason, who you think would have his back, says out loud, you don't think this could be your child? And this man is sitting here like, Maury, don't make me say it. Are you serious? Look at the screen. And then he read it out. He was like, you know, the DNA results are in. He pulls it out of the envelope and he goes, when it comes to the case of 2-year-old Dalmontravius, Mike, you are not the father. And of course she was like, no! And she did 6 backflips and ran outside. And then he went, yeah, I know. Y'all be blessed. And that's my thing. It's like if you're gonna be more than 100% sure, you have to be so sure. You have to be right. You have to be correct. And China came out with a statement. I think it was today. It might have been yesterday. I don't know. I just saw it where they were like, due to the U.S. Tariff raise, we will be raising tariffs 125%, and any other raises the U.S. will do in retaliation will be inconsequential and will be seen as a joke in the history of economies. And I'm just saying, maybe you don't want to get into a math contest with China. Y'all been fantastic. Thank y'all so much. Trillion, that's a lot. Trillion, that's a lot. Yeah. That's a lot. I know that y'all consume a ton of American news because we're right there, and we're pretty loud about it. So I know y'all saw the mugshot and everything. And sure. I was fascinated by that day, but not by him, not by Trump. Most fascinating person to me in that whole day, because Trump went in, turned himself in, and he had a lot of co-defendants, like 10 plus co-defendants that also had turned themselves in that day, take their mug shot, everything. But the person that I'm the most fascinated by is this dude named Harrison Floyd. Right? Now, Harrison Floyd is one of the co-defendants with Trump, and he's the only one out of all those people that did not get a bond agreement, right? He had to sit in jail until he could see a judge. He's also the only one out of all those people that is black. I should also point out, he's also the only one out of all those people that allegedly assaulted the FBI agent that tried to serve him his subpoena, all right? So basically, this dude had to sit in jail because he tried to fight mail, okay? So basically what happens is, FBI show up at the door, try to give him his subpoena. He went for the FBI agent's gun, all right? Then he later admitted to police, if he had got the gun, he would have shot the FBI agent and killed him. He also admitted to police that if he had known it was the FBI at the door, he would have brought his gun and shot him and killed him. All right? That's what we like to call a thought. All right? What was he thinking? Never in the history of niggerdom has a nigger been this dumb. This is the most insane thing I've seen in a long time. He must have forgot he was black. What could possibly be going through your head? That was so insane. It was so crazy. It even made me feel bad for Trump for a second. Because how does he not have one single normal black fan? Every time one of his fans that's black makes the news is always going through something, It's terrible. Trump has a reputation as a racist, and he always talking about how he's the least racist person you could ever be. I don't know. After this, I'm inclined to maybe believe him. He be hanging out with the black people I would never hang out with. That's like truly. I don't know. This dude like a Statue of Liberty for wayward niggas. This is astounding. He's just standing like, bring me your ashy, your dusty, your dumbass masses. The story was so crazy, I'm not gonna lie, I even felt bad for FBI agent. I never thought I'd say that in my life. I even felt bad for the FBI agent, because if somebody goes for your gun for a split second, you gotta think they're going for your dick. You gotta be like... I had this popped in my head out of nowhere. I had this date years ago where we both admitted to each other on the date that for both of us it was our first date
in a year. And it was really great. That was such a great thing for us to share, because then we both knew in that moment we were about to be trash. Like, this is... Neither one of us are getting each other's best. We're very rusty. And it actually ended up being a great date. Like, it was a great little hangout. We were getting along wonderfully. The vibe was not there, right? We weren't clicking in that way, but we were like, no, this is like, it's just great to spend time with a cool person, you know? And so at the end of the date, it was like a non-verbal thing. It was just a thing that we were both thinking. We just went ahead and we gave it a shot. Just one kiss, just to see. Because we've been getting along great for 3 hours. What if there's a spark, you know? You don't want to miss out on that. And I should mention that she's not just a lovely person, wonderful human. She also has the biggest hands of anyone I've ever met in my life. Her hands were huge, okay? And I'm not coming down on her hands, because I don't know if you noticed my hands since I've been up here, but I could use some more manly digits. These are not the hands I would have picked if they had been handing out hands. These are piano fingers at best. I was jealous of her hands the whole day. We went to an arcade and we were playing whack-a-mole, and she was using the mallet and her hands. She was like, her hands were so strong, she accidentally opened a locked door. Bathroom door was locked. Somebody was in there. She didn't know. She just twisted it. And we all heard the pop. It was a pop because she broke the lock. She has a locksmith right here. They just popped right and opened it. Oh, I'm sorry. You know what I mean? Spent the whole day jealous of those hands. And so we went to kiss, right? And as we went to kiss, I felt something. I felt something up. I felt something up the back of my head. And I realized it was her hand. She was cupping the back of my head with her hand. I've never been cupped before. I didn't even know that was a move people were doing in real life. Like, and if you were far away, it must have looked like my whole head fit in her hand. It must look like she was cupping a baby in her hand. And then I could feel this. I could feel this pressure from her kiss that was knocking me off balance a little bit. And that's when I realized, I'm like, wait, this bitch trying to dip me. I started fighting the dip. I was like, you ain't gonna dip me. You ain't gonna dip me. I'm a man, you ain't gonna dip me. Because think about it, if we have this kiss and there's a spark and we start going out, you gotta establish parameters early. If you let her dip you on the first kiss, the first time y'all smash, your legs will be in the air, bro. That's just the law. She already established dominance, all right? And so I'm fighting. I'm like, you ain't gonna dip me. You ain't gonna dip me. I ain't going. I'm sure I gave her the worst kiss of her life because my core was on fire. So I'm sure I was kissing just like. I don't know. In those moments of the kiss couldn't have been more than like 8 seconds, but a lot was going on. You know what I mean? And like, I don't know. In that kiss, I kind of felt, at least what I imagined, like I almost feel like I felt like a woman for a second, because I was like, you know what I mean? Because I was like safe but in danger. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Like she had me, but she might take me. You know? I don't know if you can tell by looking at me, but I was fired
from being in a gang. They kicked me out because I was too positive. They were like, "Why you always smiling, dog?" I'm like, I mean, none of us are dead or in jail, and we're a gang. They also kicked me out because I apologized too much. Our drive-bys sounded like, sorry. Like that's... After a while, I saw their point, you know? And even when it came down to it, and they were kicking me out, and I was like, I just want to hang out with my friends, and you guys are my friends, and now I don't know what I'm gonna do. Why do I have to leave? And they were like, bro, you giggle. You just like a bad influence, dog. You know what I mean? Like, you over here bringing in puppies and lemonade and like... So I'm out. I didn't know that I looked busted today until a homeless man didn't bother asking me for change. And he asked everyone, all right? He was like, hey, brother, hey, brother, hey, brother, hey, brother. Hey, brother, hey, brother, hey, brother. Oh, it hurt my soul. I took an Uber to get here, and I've come to a decision. We should not be able to see the car in the app on the way to pick us up. It's a bad idea. You are only watching mistakes. You are just watching like, oh yeah, 6 rights and you'll be here. That's perfect. That is wonderful. That's just what I wanted, you know? No, take another right. That makes sense. No, you should pass me. You're right, you know? Sometimes the car will disappear and then reappear in a place that is still not here. You know what I mean? And you're like, wow, teleportation. I had no idea we had reached this level of technology. That's amazing. Sometimes the car will just start spinning. And it'll spin further away from you. And you're like, is he drunk? Should I get in the car, you know? It's terrible. And it's disrespectful to the driver, you know? Because it's only their job to drive you, not to look cool on the way to pick you up. It's not their job to drift down the street and land in front of you perfectly. Pop the car door open like Ryan Gosling. It's just their job to drive you. They're not at work yet, and you're watching them. Imagine if you had that. Imagine if your boss had you on a screen before you got to work. It's like, okay, this man know he late and he going to Starbucks. All right. Okay, we're gonna have to have a discussion. It's terrible. I used to think a lot about who I wanted to be when I grew up, like what I wanted to be, everything, you know? And I think I finally decided, when I grow up, I want to be the dude that I am on the first date. That would be amazing if I could be that dude for real. That is... He is somebody to aspire to, you know what I mean? That dude Reed. He pulled chairs out for people. I don't even pull out the chair for myself. I actually stick my leg under the table and drag the chair out like an animal and then sit down in it. And he's got money. You know what I mean? Like, my second date's just... We going through samples at Whole Foods while we learn about each other. I haven't always lived here. I actually moved to New York from Chicago. Me too. And I quickly realized how proud New Yorkers are of their time. What I mean by that is how like long they lived here. You know what I mean? Like people be like, I'm a real New Yorker, dog. I've been here 8 years. And then somebody in the back that nobody was talking to goes, nah, man, it doesn't start till 10. Like, what are you talking about? Your New York time shouldn't be measured by calendar year. It should be measured by your experiences, you know? Like, if we all moved to New York tonight, and we got off the plane and we got on the train, and then we got off the train as the train doors open, a homeless man coughs in your mouth, you've been here 2 years. That's 2 full years right there. I was walking down Times Square, which was my mistake, you know what I mean? And I was walking down the street, I saw this young woman, clearly not from New York, because she was smiling very wide. She was genuinely happy. And you also could tell that she wasn't from here because she was looking up at like the screens and the buildings and everything, and she was just blown away because she had seen this in movies and it's here now in front of her. This is insane, you know? And so then she opened her mouth to say, wow. Everyone who laughed is from New York. She opened her mouth to say wow because she was full of joy and hope and life. And as soon as she opened her mouth to say wow, a bag flew in her mouth. And it's like, yeah, that's what happens here, all right? Were you happy? New York notice, and it's in a dirty Walgreens bag to fly halfway in your head. Close your mouth and tuck your chin like an adult. I have to take the train everywhere, and it's exhausting. I know that everyone doesn't have this problem, but I'm like, I don't know, I'm just pressed up against people the entire ride, just like mushed in between people. I'm surprised no one is in me. I'm pressed up against so many people so hard. And I'm not a big man, so if I get pressed up against 2 big men, it's not uncommon for my feet to leave the ground. So now I'm just dangling in between 2 grown men as the train goes. And then they go to get off, and I'm like, sir, please don't do this. I got 3 more stops, please. Like, it's a terrible feeling. I was on the train with one of those ladies that had those baby backpacks. You know what I'm talking about? Where the baby is the backpack? Like, she don't want to look at her kid. Like, the baby hanging in the other direction, you know, in some sort of, like, suspended timeout. Baby could be gone for all she knows. It could be a sack of potatoes. Traded for a baby, and she'd still just keep walking, you know what I mean? So it was just me and the baby pressed up against each other. Nose to nose like this, just mushing heads. And this is a baby. That's a soft head. I should not be mushing my grown skull against this baby, you know? But I'm mushing up against the baby, and I look at the baby, and the baby looks at me. He's like, I don't know. I don't know what you want me to do. I'm a baby. My feet don't touch the ground either. And then the train sped up, and as it sped up, it like shook a little bit, and the baby, I don't know what age of baby this baby was, but he definitely wasn't like hold his own head up age. Like, he was out here. So then the train sped up and the baby went weightless, and for a split second his little foot went in my mouth, right? And like, not like, I didn't close my mouth, I didn't suck on his foot, but still it was a baby foot in the dirty New York air, you know what I mean? And so I'm choking, and as I'm choking, because there's no shoe, but I mean, I'm choking, and I look at the baby, and the baby looks at me, he's like, I don't know what you're doing.
finally started taking more stands in my life. I don't go to the zoo anymore. You know what I mean? I can't do it, you know? It's like, you're not even seeing the animal. Like, that's not the animal. It doesn't know how to fight. It doesn't know how to hunt. It just is the most domesticated version of the animal. They just throw food at it all day. That's not a lion. Have you ever seen a zoo lion roar? It can't even roar. It's like, rawr, I guess. Like, it has no confidence. It's never had a struggle in its life, you know? If a zoo lion and me saw a lion from the wild, we would run together. Okay, not the same speed, but the same direction. That zoo lion would be like, he's from the streets. No? That's why I don't care. You know? That's why I don't care when people die at the zoo. Really? That's the lion that killed you? The Urkel of lions is the lion that the Sheldon of lions is the lion that killed. It didn't even mean to kill you. Zoo animals never mean to kill the person. They just slapped you and were like, the meat's not coming out of this one. I have no idea what's it's. He's being difficult. You know? Plus, honestly, most of us have been to the zoo. And we're here now. Which means we made it. Like, we're clearly not losing any scholars at the zoo. No one who has died at the zoo has ever started a sentence with therefore. Like, we're not losing the best. I can't judge anybody though, because I am truly embarrassed about how much I'm still finding out about the world. You know, like at a certain point, you'd like to feel like an adult and I know things, I have a basic knowledge and I move from there, but that's not the case. I'm learning things every day. This next thing, look, I didn't know. Okay? I did not know. Please don't get mad at me. I had no idea. I had no idea that there were people in this world, the volume and frequency of men in this world, taking a picture of their penis and just sending it to women. I had no idea how it's happening every hour of every day all over the world. They didn't ask for the picture. They don't want the picture, and they can't unsee the picture, you know? But I found this out because it hit close to home. Because you ladies do a thing as well. Where you'll go out, maybe it's by yourself or maybe it's with your friends. You'll go out and you'll meet a guy and you don't really like him. You know what I mean? Like maybe there's no connection, there's no chemistry. You guys just aren't clicking. I don't know what it is. But you don't really like him. So at the end of the night, he asks you for your number. And you give him your number. But you give him one number off. You give him one number wrong, okay? Maybe it's the first number, maybe it's the last number. It's just not your number. I know that because I've been that number. For a period of 6 months, there was some random woman out in the world giving strange men my number. And for a period of 6 months, I was receiving penises in my phone. It was terrible. I'd wake up in the morning, thank the Lord for a new day. And then I'd do what we all do. I'd roll over and I'd check my phone. See what's going on in the world. See who's thinking about me. And there would be penises in my face. One of the most distressing things about this is that it wasn't even like, hey, what's up, it's Mark from last night, penis. It was just straight to the penis. Like, not even seeing it, who I am, you know? Not even seeing how my day is going. I lived in fear of my own phone. My phone would buzz and I would pray there weren't 2 penises in my pants. It was so many that honestly I had to figure out what the plural for penises was. And I decided on penises. But I think I've got to stop. I think I got to stop. And this is actually
a tip for you ladies if you want to use it. If you want men to stop sending you unsolicited pictures of their penis, all you need to do is what I did, which is send a picture of a penis back. They will not know what to do. They'll be terrified. No one is less prepared to receive a picture of a penis than a man that just sent a picture of a penis to what he thought was a woman. They'll be terrified. There's actually one where if you look at the text chain, it's just a picture of a penis, a picture of my penis, and then him going, Stephanie? Well, it's hurricane season again. This happens every year. Every year, hurricane season hits 5 major states in the U.S. the hardest. And every year, there are people who refuse to evacuate, and then they die for no reason. Now, these are also 5 states with the highest frequencies and most outlandish cases of discrimination. So I think I figured out how to save these people. If you want to get these people to evacuate, you need to stop naming hurricanes boring white people names. And name them something that these people will actually be terrified of, you know? No one's scared of Hurricane Bobby. I know Bobbies. Bobbies are delightful, okay? The Bobby I know, he bring brisket to brunch. He is amazing. He would never do those things that the news said he was gonna do in my neighborhood. You wanna scare these people, you need to get on the news like, Tropical Storm Black Son-in-Law is coming down the Florida Panhandle. It's a tropical storm now, but it could graduate to a Category 5 mixed grandbabies. You know what I mean? Like, you want to get people, truly, you want to get people to get out of Georgia. You can't be like Hurricane Sebastian. Sebastian doesn't even sound like he would hurt anybody. Sebastian sounds like the worst thing that he'd do is roast you about the wallpaper. You know what I mean? He doesn't sound like he's going to rip the roof off. You're going to have to be like, Hurricane Woman President is coming, whether you like it or not. She's headed here. Hurricane Irma. I'm pretty sure Hurricane Irma was one of the least evacuated hurricanes of all time. They didn't even respect her, you know? Because honestly, Irma sounds like she one fall away from not being a hurricane anymore. You want to get these people out of Texas, you need to be like, Hurricane Mexican immigrant millionaire. I need to make a confession to you guys. I can't see very well. I have bad eyes. My eyes are very dumb. I might as well have 2 feet where my eyes are. That's how useful my eyes are. I actually went to the optometrist, and he sat me down, and he put the thing in front of my face. I don't know what it's called, but it's the thing from the Justin Timberlake album where he, like, put it in front of, and then he was like, better, worse, better, worse. I was like, oh, it's all bad. Yeah, and he was like, better, worse. I was like, can't you just tell me? He's like, I can't tell you, I don't have your eyes. Just try, better, worse. I was like, none of it's good. And then he put his hands on his knees and exhaled, walked out, and then his nurse walked in and said he rescheduled, and he never did. So my optometrist ghosted me. So my eyes are still very bad. I tell that story because I was getting a smoothie. I was getting a smoothie at a Julius Caesar. It's a smoothie place. Actually, you know what? It's not Julius. It's Orange Julius. But I couldn't see the sign well until very recently. Someone told me it wasn't Julius Caesar. Either way, I was there, right? I was there, and they put the name of the smoothie in big letters, and they put all the ingredients in little letters. So then I was leaning forward on the counter as far as I could. My stomach was on the counter. I was leaning just to see what was in one of the smoothies that I might like, right? So then the cashier, she's turned around, she's bent over, she's doing something with supplies. So I'm leaning over the counter as much as I can. But then she stands up, she turns around, and we're nose to nose. And then she limboed on me. She leaned back as far as she could. And I wanted to explain to her, ma'am, I wasn't trying to kiss you, all right? I have very bad eyes. I actually went to the optometrist. He put the thing in front of my face. I don't know what it's called, but it's the thing from the Justin Timberlake album. But I didn't want to explain all that, so I was just like, I don't love you, and walked away. This is very embarrassing to admit, but when I was a kid, all the way up until like young adulthood, I thought that I could see the future. And then I realized I just had common sense. Yeah, I mean, like I'll give you my best example. I had a friend from Chicago call me, and he told me he got his girlfriend pregnant by accident. And I was like, oh, dude, I knew you were gonna do that 3 years ago. And he was like, how? How is that possible? I've only known her for a year. I was like, oh, bro, I knew you were going to do that when I saw you walking around with no case on your phone. Like, I knew you weren't thinking ahead. You weren't taking precautions. You were living reckless, you know? You don't have a case on your phone. Of course you're not wrapping it up. Come on, just walking around loose phone all day. I've also been thinking a lot about the concept of karma, because we misuse the term karma, you know? Like, I was in Chicago, and I was in the South Side, like the hundreds, and I got robbed. And then I saw the guy that robbed me get robbed one block down. That's amazing, but that's not karma. You know, I knew a kid in school that his favorite pastime was just making fun of fat people. That's all he did, all the time, nonstop. It was like he did it even in front of people. It was to the point where I couldn't hang out with him anymore, you know? And obviously this thing is coming from like an insecurity that he had. So then he got a little bit older, he started working out and everything to the point where he got yoked, like prison ripped, you know what I mean? Like just terrifying, right? And he got so ripped top to bottom, but in the middle section, he had 3 abs. How? Like they're supposed to come in a pack of 6. You're 3 light. That's hilarious, but that's not karma. Karma's about what you did in a past life and, you know, how you handle it in the next life. And burning off your karma has a lot to do with reincarnation and coming back, having many lives and many forms, you know? Because I had a situation with this guy. I was hanging out with my friends, and he bumped into me really hard. And it was just the point where I said something. I was like, hey, calm down. There's no fire or anything, you know? And then he got in my face, and he wanted to fight me. And it was wild. I was just like, I don't want to fight anybody. It's just you bumped into me, you didn't say anything, you know? And he's nose to nose with me. And he's like, why don't you just go eat some chicken or something? Which, like, that's a weird one. You know what I mean? Like, that's about as awkward as it is racist. You know what I mean? Like, it was to the point where I felt bad for him. I was like, do you want to try one more time? Or like, it actually makes me confident that he's not a racist. A racist would know what to do in this situation. You know? But I've been thinking, if karma is real, and reincarnation is real, and you are a racist, then I hope that you die. I hope that you die and you're reincarnated as a chicken. I feel like it's the only way to fix this racism, because yes, you'll be racist, you'll die, you'll come back as a chicken, I will fry you. I will fry you personally, okay? You'll be delicious. I'll tear meat from bone. And it's not just chicken, honestly. It's like all the poultry can get it. Every land bird, you know? All of them. Roosters are the most racist. We never talk about it, but they are. You know, roosters wake up racist. Every day they wake up, they see the sun before us, and they're like, nit, 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 nit. That's every day. And we act like we don't hear it, but it's right there. Every time I hear them, nit, 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 you Confederate bastard. You're gonna get your day. what an incredible day. It's been beautiful outside. It's a real, yeah, no, you can clap. This is big for us because we had a whole ass hurricane this weekend. That was crazy. It was so, New York this is already a dirty place. This is already a disgusting city. This place should never be wet. That was unacceptable. Like even when I looked outside, I was like, there's a whole lot of stuff out there right now that should not be getting wet, right? And then I had to run. So I was gonna be late for a spot, so I was running, right? And as I was running, I almost slipped. And if I had fallen on the wet New York pavement, if I had fallen on the somehow warm water, I don't even think I would have I think I would have killed myself. I think that was on my last thread. I've been reading the news and I saw this story that's captivated me. There's a British Airways pilot that got fired because they caught him the night before. He had done a bunch of cocaine off of a stripper's titty. I know. Some of y'all are like, awesome. And I read the whole story, and when I got done reading the story, I had lots of questions. First question. Why is the titty part of the story? That feels, you know what I mean? That feels like the least consequential part. The titty did nothing wrong. Like, it was just being there for a good time and everything. And second, is that why they fired him? Did they go to him? They were like, you don't even do it all flat surfaces. You're not responsible with your cocaine. How can we put lives in your hands when you're this reckless with your cocaine? You know when you put it on the titty, you lose at least half. Third question that it brought up for me. Is flying a plane low-key easy? How are pilots this comfortable getting this blazed all the time? It's like, this story happens like once a month. Pilots get caught being drunk and being high or whatever. I have a theory, and this is a conspiracy theory that just I have. And I know I don't expect you to believe what I'm about to say. I just think this, okay? You know, like when you're getting off a flight and you're walking to the front and the pilot is standing there, just standing in front of the cockpit. You know that weird thing they do? It's really awkward. They're like waiting for some sort of attaboy or something. It's like, it's honestly the thirstiest thing I've ever seen. Like they just land the plane and now they're like, oh, did you like that? That was me. That was... They, like, pilots in front of the cockpit after the flight look like dudes before Tinder. Just like, what do you think of me? So anyway, when you look past them, which I always do, when you look right past them into the cockpit, you can see all these like little switches, all these levers in the cockpit, all these little lights, all these labels. I think, just me, I think none of that shit work. That's all for show. That's not real. There's a button under their seat that says fly, and they hit that. That's how the plane takes off. Otherwise, I can't believe they're this comfortable being drunk, you know? Because I think it must just be an easy job. Everyone here knows somebody with an easy job that is high for that job 100% of the time. I got 5 friends that are dog walkers. They're on the moon half the week. All they gotta do is walk. Yep. All right. You don't even need to give them a direction. Just they walk until the dog is tired. These dogs look like tortilla chips, by the way, to them. They're very high. I don't know. Just maybe you don't need to fire them. Did they really need to fire them? You know, ask yourself truly. What if he fly better on cocaine? Did anybody ask that? What if he's a better pilot? What if he does a little cocaine and then he's up there alert, just dodging clouds? Let him be. If it's an easy job, let him be drunk and high. Just knock $200 off my ticket. That's all I ask. I'll take a drunk discount. I don't care. You know? That's the other thing. You know, we narrowly missed it by like 2 hours. There was almost a government shutdown. There was almost a whole government shutdown, which is crazy. We send them to do government. We send these people to do government, and they're so bad doing government, they almost didn't have money for government. And then they still weren't going to be fired. You know what I mean? When there's a government shutdown, they just take a vacation and then come back and work it out. It's insane. And they still get paid. They mismanage this shit so badly that it has to shut down and they still get paid. It's the government workers that don't get paid, you know? Federal workers have to get furloughed. They don't get any pay. FAA up there doing their job, hoping they'll get paid later. TSA doesn't get paid. If you think TSA are some bastards now, imagine them showing up knowing they're not getting paid. If you are not getting paid to do TSA and you still show up, you're doing it for the love of the game, all right? You doing it because you like fucking up people's flights. That's the whole real. Oh, this bitch thinks she going to Aruba. All right, not today. Not on my watch. All right. I can't stand them. They're the worst. They really are. They always asking me dumbass questions. You know, you'll be in line. They'll grab your bag, be like, why is there so much lotion in this bottle? It's like, that's how it came. Don't act like I'm being weird. That's how much Aveeno CVS sells. I didn't make the lotion. Just throw it away if you need to. They be holding it up like, he's got lotion. Why does he have so much lotion? Questions need to be answered. It's like, oh my God. Can't stand it. You know? That's the thing. That's how you know nobody cares about your safety in reality. Nobody cares. Nobody at the airport cares. Pilot is drunk. And the TSA is just, they say they're looking for bombs, but they're just taking menial shit off you. They're like, why is your comb so sharp? It's like, oh my God. They like trying to check if everything is a bomb, but then they still will let an airport have a Taco Bell. It's like, what about those ass bombs you're sending in the air? That's crazy. It's wild. Because what if something happens, like the Spain plane? Remember the Spain plane? Do y'all know about, in case you don't know about the Spain plane, there was a plane on its way to Spain months ago that had to turn around halfway there because somebody shit the plane, all right? And the plane got bathrooms. They weren't like, hold it until you get to Spain. Someone shit the plane, all right? That's crazy. CNN reported it. That's how big of a story it was. They had to divert. People were like, is there a terrorist on? It's like, kinda. Like, it was absolutely crazy. Someone went to college, studied journalism, then got a job at CNN. And at 8 o'clock on my TV, they were like, somebody shit the plane. Somebody. That's why I feel like, just roll with me here for a second. Just stick with me. I feel like the world would be a better place if more women punched people. Because I feel like there's a show that I watch. I was raised by 3 women, so I watched a lot of Lifetime, all right? And there was a show on Lifetime called Snapped. If you haven't heard of it, it's a show about women killing their husbands, all right? And just so you know, there's 28 seasons, so women have been cooking, okay? Anyway, I bring all this up because I watch a lot of Snap because I was raised by these 3 women, always watching Lifetime, so then I'm watching and I'm just looking for all the men's mistakes. I'm just like, all right, good to know. But honestly, a lot of the episodes, if y'all have watched the show, the day they kill the husband, sometimes he didn't do anything that day. You know what I mean? He was just like, hey, babe, where's the... Just a couple punches and this whole shit could have been avoided. You know what I mean? Just letting it build up. It's not good. You know? I'm very worried, too. I worry about the economy more and more every day. Not just because I'm getting older and I finally have started to understand it, like, genuinely. Like, a lot of this does not make sense. Like, a lot of what we're doing. I know we all watch The Big Short and everything, but, like, this is actually bad, what's happening. Like, I know the economy is getting worse and worse because more and more of my Uber drivers have been white. And this is terrifying, all right? Is the economy in shambles? What's happening? Do you know the terror that goes through my heart when I open up Uber and it says Spencer will be there in 3 minutes? I'm like, nuh-uh. Whatever happened to him is happening to me next week, all right? This is very bad. And the worst part about having a white Uber driver is their honesty. You know, because I'm a jovial guy. I get in the car and I'm like, hey, how's it going? You know, white Uber driver tell you the truth. They will. They'll let it all out. You know what I mean? Hey, how's it going? She took everything. Like, oh, yo. I did not know. I remember the first time it happened. I'll never forget my first white Uber driver. Tyler.
I got in the car. I was like, hey, man, how's it going? He's like, obviously not fucking well. I'm like, okay, whoops, my bad. You all been great. Thank you so much. I'm Josh Johnson.